I'm good. Sophia Soto with the Nerds of Color. Huge fan of you, and I really appreciate your time today. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you. This is
Course.
so fun.
I am so excited to speak with you about this show. Let me tell you, I spent a whole day binging it. I
Oh,
could
thank
not
you.
stop, Kaley. Like, come on.
Hey, it really, this tone and these quick episodes really lends itself to kind of watching them all at the same.
Yes.
It's kind of like watching a
Yes.
movie.
I made the mistake of starting it a little late. We pulled a little bit of an all-nighter, but we won't talk about that.
Amazing. Thank you.
Years. So I really want to talk about not the message, but the theme of it. I mean, the show will really make viewers sort of reflect on their own obsession about true crime. I think it's become part of our world. And I'm curious for you, what was your relationship with the topic beforehand? And did the show change your personal perspective at all?
I love true crime. I always have. I mean, Dateline is one of my favorite shows. I grew up watching Forensic Files with my mom. We'd watch like every night before bed together and try and guess who did what and how it happened. So when I got hold of this project, I was like, oh my God, this is like all my favorite things in one show. Some dark comedy, true crime, like it was, and then they wrote in me being pregnant, which was another gift. So it was kind of, it checked every box, and it was a blast. And then when I heard Chris Messina had signed on, I was like, I couldn't wait to work with him. And the two of us just had the time of our life.
And I want to ask you specifically about filming the scenes at CrimeCon, because as someone who has been going to New York Comic Con for years, it's just such a fun vibe to see that on screen, even it's so
Totally.
drastically different. I
Yes.
can imagine. It must have been so much fun. What was that like for you? I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's just a set, but
It was the set design was incredible. I didn't even know there was such a thing as CrimeCon. That was like news to us. We had no idea, but they copied it brilliantly, and it was actually we really felt like we were there. And I mean, there really are these true crime junkies and that go to these functions and these big events, and it was a blast, and it looked very real, and it was so appropriate for our show, and ended up looking great.
yeah. And if any of your past characters, anyone you've played, had a podcast like Ava does, whose would you listen to, and what do you think the topic would be?
I think Harley Quinn, animated Harley Quinn, would make a really badass podcast about taking over the underworld.
Oh my God. Where do I sign up for this?
Yeah, that'd be real good, right? Wouldn't you want to
I,
listen to Harley do a podcast? She'd be insane.
I I'm signing up. I don't know who we need to talk to,
I
but
know. I
amazing,
think it's a
amazing,
really
amazing,
good
amazing.
idea. I know my ideas are running through my head right now. I'm like, we need to do that where she runs a podcast. It's hysterical.
I love it. And we are going to talk spoilers. And I can't talk to you without talking spoilers because that ending, okay?
For sure. Yes. Uh,
Talk to me about it. Like, is there a
I mean,
possibility of a second season?
yes.
What do you
Yes.
think happens to Ava?
We would love to do a second season. Look, I think that where they started in this season to where they got to at the end of the day, these two people are just as bad as this killer. They are just as bad. They are in just as much trouble. And all three of them now have dirt on the other. Like, you can't turn anyone in without the others going too. So I think they're caught now in this spiral, and they're like, what do we do? And I envision season two, them kind of getting even more caught in the bad underbelly of what's going on here, and because there's nothing they can do. They're gonna, like I said, they're gonna be in just as much trouble as Matt at this point. So I think maybe a little bit of a Bonnie and Clyde with a little bit of more of a silly Bonnie and Clyde sort of situation. That's what also I love. They're not good at this. This is not something they do. So they make a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of mistakes that they make that would obviously send them right to the police. So that's why we got to keep it a little lighthearted and a little funny, which obviously is my favorite part of the show.
I need the season two immediately.
I
Just,
do
I'm ready to
too.
cover it. You left me on a little bit of not a little bit, I'm sorry, multiple cliffhangers. Let's be.
I know. It's like, what are they going to do next? And then the fact
Yeah.
that they're cleaning up blood while they're talking about baby names. I mean, it's so psychotic.
Amazing. And speaking of blood, because come on, the fake, death sequences, the fantasy death sequences, you got a
Yes.
few of those. I think you got two. Talk to me about filming those. What was that like for you?
And yes, at the very end too, there's one as well. They're
Yes.
I had amazing body doubles, amazing stunt doubles. One who I've worked with a very long time, my friend Monette. So she did a lot of that gnarly stuff, but I liked it because the way it seamlessly got put in the show, you kind of don't know if it's real or not. And then you're like, oh my God, it was put in very, very smoothly and seamlessly. And it was kind of my favorite parts. I mean, my favorite part is when the dot with the dog and his vision of pushing Simon into the fire and then into the pool. It's like, it was so brilliantly done and it looked so real. I mean, it was real. It was an amazing stunt. And that's probably my favorite part of the show for sure.
I was dying at that. I'm a dog person, so I was dying
Oh,
at that.
how good was that dog? Oh my God. The best
And
dog.
listen, come on. Anytime a dog's on my screen, you suck me right in.
Me too.
It's the truth.
Me too.
Truth. What aspect did you enjoy most about Ava as a character? I feel like there's probably something you learn or something from a character after you take on each role.
You know, I definitely bring a lot of myself to a lot of these roles. I feel like when you hire me, you kind of know what you're getting in a way, especially when it comes to being comedic. But yeah, I don't know. I loved her chaos. I loved her sometimes that manic energy, the desperation of getting Nathan on board, pushing through. I mean, she's fully pregnant and doing all of this stuff, and now she's in deep and she knows it. And all the power to her. She's like, well, we're in this now. What are we going to do? And I love her partnership with Nathan and how they're definitely struggling at the beginning, but they come together at the end. And that makes, even though it's a bad situation, that part made me really happy.
Yeah. Kaley, goodbye from Rosie and me.
Hey, Rosie, look at that cutie. What a cutie.
Thank you for your time. Oh, she's Kaley.
Listening. That's so good. I love it. I love it.
She was with me when I watched the show. So
amazing. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully talk again about season 2.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll be here for sure.
Let's go.
Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life. Comics, movies, and TV. Yeah. Pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.